The idea started small, a whisper, really, a waterfall, in winter, frozen maybe, or roaring defiance against the ice. We just had to see it. The map showed a place called Whispering Falls, miles from anywhere, tucked away in the hills. A proper adventure, just waiting for us. The thought of it, the sheer beauty, it got under my skin, you know, a challenge, and a brilliant one at that. The morning arrived, crisp, bright. Sunlight glinted off the frost. Everything looked brand new. Air so cold it made your lungs tingle, a good tingle, the kind that wakes you right up. My trusty bike stood ready, a gleaming beast, eager for the road. We'd been through a lot together, this machine and I. And here was another story to write. The excitement was almost a physical thing. We layered up proper Michelin Man style, thermal gear, heated grips, the works. No room for frostbite on this trip, thank you very much. A final check, petrol full, tires good. Then the roar of the engine, breaking the morning silence. A beautiful sound, that. The promise of the open road. Off we went, into the winter's embrace, leaving the sleepy town behind us. The landscape began its slow transformation, fields dusted with white, trees stark and skeletal, but beautiful in a harsh, wintry way. The familiar roads took on a new character, quieter, more solemn somehow. The sun was low in the sky, casting long, eerie shadows. Each mile brought us closer, closer to the cold, closer to the falls, and the anticipation just kept building. The cold, right. It really started to bite then, properly sharp, like tiny needles on your cheeks. Even through the visor you could feel it. The wind had a real edge to it, but it wasn't just uncomfortable, not at all. It was exhilarating. Part of the whole mad experience. It made you feel alive, truly alive. Every breath was a frosty plume, a reminder that we were out there, doing something a bit different. The bike, though, what a machine. It just hummed along, happy as anything. Tires gripping, engine purring, that steady rhythm. It felt like an extension of me. Riding in winter, it's a different ball game. You're more connected to everything. The bike, the road, the elements. It's a raw feeling, honest. You have to respect the conditions, but the joy of it, that's something special. The sounds were incredible, really. Not just the engine, though that was a constant friend. There was the whoosh of the wind, trying to sneak into any gap in your gear. Sometimes a strange crunch from the road, ice maybe, or just frozen gravel. It kept you alert, focused. Every sense heightened by the cold. It was a symphony of winter, and we were riding right through the middle of it. There's a unique thrill to it, you know, riding when most bikes are tucked away, warm and cozy in some garage. The roads were practically empty, just us and the vast frozen landscape. A real sense of solitude, but not loneliness. More like a shared adventure. Me, the bike, and the wildness of winter. It's what adventure is all about, isn't it? Pushing yourself just a little bit. As we climbed higher, the world turned whiter. Proper snow now, blanketing everything. Trees wore thick coats of frost like something out of a fairy tale it was. The air felt thinner, colder still. But the sun was brilliant, making the ice crystals sparkle. Millions of tiny diamonds scattered everywhere. It was breathtaking, truly. This was the icy kingdom we'd come to find. Then we heard it, a low rumble at first, growing louder with every bend in the road, the sound of water, lots of it. My heart started to thump a bit faster. This was it. We were close. The air seemed to vibrate with the power of it. Even before we saw the falls, we could feel them. A primal energy in the frozen stillness. The anticipation was almost unbearable. And then, there it was. Whispering Falls. Though it wasn't whispering today, it was roaring, a magnificent torrent of water crashing down into an icy pool. Huge icicles like giant teeth framed the cascade. Some parts of the cliff face were sheer ice walls, glistening blue and white in the sunlight. The power was incredible. Nature putting on its grandest show. It just stopped you in your tracks. We parked the bikes carefully and just stood there staring. The mist from the falls rose up, freezing instantly on our jackets, our helmets. Tiny ice crystals forming on our eyelashes. The sound was immense, a constant thundering roar. You could feel the vibrations through your boots. It was raw, elemental, utterly beautiful. All that effort, all that cold. Worth it? Absolutely, every single shiver. Now, it wasn't all smooth sailing, I'll tell you that. The road to the falls was a bit dodgy in places, patches of black ice hiding in the shadows. You had to be so careful, feathering the brakes, gentle on the throttle. No sudden moves, that was the key. My knuckles were white inside my gloves sometimes. Proper concentration needed every second. It's moments like those you really focus. Your life depends on it, quite literally. There was one particular bend shaded by trees, a sheet of pure clear ice. Spotted it late, too late to avoid completely. The back wheel gave a little twitch. Just a tiny slip, but enough to make your heart jump. A bit of a wobble, a quick correction. Held my breath, I think. Then we were through it. Phew! A shot of adrenaline, that's for sure. Makes you appreciate solid ground, that does. But navigating those tricky bits, that was part of it too. The sense of achievement when you manage it. When you and the bike work together to overcome what the road throws at you, it makes the destination even sweeter. Knowing you've earned it, that view of the falls, the sheer power, it felt like a reward for the effort, a private show just for us, for being daft enough to ride out there. The ride back was just as stunning. The light began to fade, painting the sky in soft colors. We were tired, cold, but buzzing. A quiet satisfaction settled in, the kind you only get from a proper adventure. That image of the waterfall, frozen in time, the roar of the water, the bite of the cold, it seared into my memory that day. An unforgettable experience, pure, unadulterated joy. That's what riding is all about, isn't it?